Well, good afternoon, Desmond Shaw up here in SkyCal. We are over Long Beach Airport. Well, actually, we're not over it yet. We are attempting to get over it, but you can see here off the end of the lens, a small Cessna has crashed into what looks like the roof of a hangar here. Like they just nosedived right into this hangar. Going to double in here. That can give you a little bit better view. We're shooting this from several miles away. Long Beach, kind of strange because of this incident, is not letting us into their airspace. So we're having to kind of do some tricks and climb up and get over the top of their airspace so that we can come in and bring you a better shot. But incredibly, here, despite nosediving into this hangar, only minor injuries to the pilot on this one. So just widen out and show you the terrain here of Long Beach Airport. Very close to runway 8 right here, which is generally the runway that is used for smaller planes like a Cessna. Here, the larger runway here you can see is for the jetliners. So, you know, the vast majority of issues with planes happen on takeoff and landing, and it's not entirely certain what happened here, if this plane was coming in for landing or if it was taking off and had an engine trouble and tried to turn around and ended up nose first into the top of this hangar, or what exactly happened. But most likely it was something on takeoff or landing, you know, perhaps a stuttering engine or something like that. So this pilot, incredibly lucky to suffer non-life-threatening injuries on this. They are off to the hospital, obviously. I don't know that I've ever seen a plane, you know, propeller down into the top of a hangar like this. You know, and these hangars, you know, the roofs, they're decently sturdy, but, you know, this plane could have probably gone through the top of the hangar and gone, you know, down into the ground. And, you know, had that happened, there would have been a much smaller likelihood that that pilot would have survived such a crash. So many of these crashes with these smaller planes, you know, end with fatalities. But so it's just amazing that that did not happen this time. Here we're doubling in once again. And we continue to climb up here up to about 5,000 feet. Once we get up to that height, we should be able to get closer and bring you a better shot here. You can see all the firefighters here up on the roof of the hangar. They're just, frankly, looking maybe kind of dumbfounded about this one. So there's going to be a massive investigation going on, and airport operations are really disrupted right now. In fact, it's only jetliners that are allowed in right now to this airspace, which is why we're having to shoot this from so far away. Although I'm kind of dumbfounded as to why that is, because we've, you know, been over other airports before at a lower altitude when there's been a crash and there's not been a problem. But for whatever reason, Long Beach is saying that they don't want any general aviation inside their airspace at a normal altitude right now, which would includes us up here in SkyCal. So I'm just listening to my intrepid pilot Dylan talking right now, trying to deal with this controller. Already spoke with someone from SoCal Approach who was not exactly friendly to Dylan. It was just trying to explain what he was doing, and the controller didn't want to deal with us. So Dylan's now on the radio with another controller, attempting to get us in for a better shot at this. But with the power of our zoom lens, we are at least able to give you a decent shot here. I have both the digital and optical lens extenders in, as we're about 3 miles away. We're over the 405 west of the 710, showing you this. Long Beach Airport well to the east of that interchange. So apparently we're just waiting for a jet to depart, and then we may be able to sneak in behind them and get a better shot of this. Really amazing. You know, I flew in a Cessna very similar to this for years when I did traffic on KNX. And, you know, there's a lot that can go wrong with these planes. I mean, maintaining any aircraft is, you know, a pretty big and expensive endeavor. And, you know, again, it's not clear what happened here, but, you know, there's lots of ways that that an airplane engine can fail, and when it does, you know, it is on this pilot to try to safely get it to the ground. And even though they were not able to get it to the ground completely, that they were able to survive this really is something of a miracle. You know, when you have an engine failure in an airplane, especially if you're not at a very high altitude, it is, like I said, just very, very difficult to get it down safely. And, you know, for whatever reason, this pilot unable to get it down onto the ground. But maybe, you know, that ended up being a serendipitous thing, because if they would have come down head first onto the concrete, this pilot would not be alive. But for them to come in and just kind of pluck almost like a dart under the, that's kind of what it looks like to me, almost like a dart into the top of this hangar right here. And, you know, someone inside could have very easily been injured as well. Any of the debris coming from the roof falling down, if people were working on aircraft inside, this could have just really, really gone poorly. You know, I've actually sadly been a witness to a fatal crash at Van Nuys Airport one time when the pilot of that plane panicked when they had a loose landing gear doing a touch and go, and then took off, and they panicked and turned the plane around too quickly at too low of an altitude, at too steep of an angle, stalled the plane, and you know, went down into a commercial district. And you know, I watched that person die. So you know, these are always you know, very sensitive things to cover here. But the fact that we just had minor injuries and property damage, now we're getting a really good look at this Cessna here. And you can see right through the roof. I don't think I've never seen a crash like this before. Really an amazing thing. And I'm sure that the pilot of that plane, apparently just the one person on board, feeling extraordinarily lucky that to only suffer minor injuries on this one. And you know, hopefully this doesn't ruin flying for them. But there will be a big investigation for sure with the NTSB on this one, as we're now up at, I believe, about 4,000 feet, giving you a really, really good angle of this plane. I mean, it basically, it looks like, you know, the wings prevented the plane from going all the way through the roof and onto the ground. The plane, of course, will be a total loss. In fact, now, wow, we're seeing the left wing here of the plane. Looks like it was snapped in half from the impact here. So, you know, this was not a gentle collision. I mean, just nose down. Just amazing. We had heard that a plane landed on the roof of a building. I've actually seen something like that before, where they landed intact, but this was definitely a crash landing here. Nose first into this hangar. Long Beach Fire up here on the roof. Very fortunate that a fire was not started. So here we can see, it looks like it was the West Coast maintenance hangar. So aviation maintenance hangar here off the west end of Long Beach Airport. We'll widen out again and show you the lay of the land that we're talking about. Right next to the, or not too far away from the tower. Just off of runway 8 right. Yeah, pretty close to the freeway as well. Of course, we've seen freeway landings in the past. Some have gone well, some have not. But when if you just looked at this, you would probably think, boy, you know, rest in peace to that pilot. But no, minor injuries on this one. A minor miracle here at Long Beach Airport. Firefighters up on the roof. They got their hook and ladder. So probably going to have to bring a big crane in here just to get this thing off of the roof of the hangar. And I wonder if you're going to have building and safety coming to the scene eventually as well to check on, you know, the roof of this building. I mean, it looks like it's on the corner, so I would have to imagine that the rest of the roof is going to be okay. But yeah, not just, you know, straight down, almost kind of upside down as well here, as we now coming in for our first full orbit of this plane into the West Coast maintenance hangar at Long Beach Airport. Really incredible images here. You know, we had back-to-back fatal crashes, sadly, out at Murrieta Airport. Of course, we've been covering those on KCAL News. One was a smaller plane. The other was a jet that crashed yesterday. Six lives lost on that plane yesterday. So aviation accidents very fresh in our mind. Obviously, you know, flying in an aircraft myself, this is a, you know, a very sensitive thing. So just relieved to report the good news here that no one died in this crash. We had a fatal crash at Santa Monica Airport. What was that, probably, I guess that was maybe 6 months ago now. Apparently it was a student and a pilot. That was horrible to witness. But, well, thank you for tuning in on our KCAL News stream. First here over the scene, bringing you news of this crash that could have gone so much worse. Amazingly, only minor injuries to the pilot here this Monday afternoon at Long Beach Airport. Reporting over Long Beach Airport and SkyCal, I'm Desmond Shaw.